Hey everyone! So today I have a really fun video. It is all of my leftovers from this year. So I've got two of these little round stands. They are from the Target dollar spot. I did a coat of Rust-Oleum chiffon cream on the top and a mix of fern and ink from Waverly. And I am going to take a piece of tissue paper for the top of one of them, and I'm just kind of gauging like how big I needed the space and everything like that. So I'll cut it out. And now we're essentially just going to iron it because I don't feel like getting the iron out. Not to mention mine has a steamer in it. I will just take my little mini press from Cricut, and I am just going to have it on the lowest setting and just get the majority of the wrinkles out. This is totally optional. If you are okay with the wrinkles, I wouldn't even worry about it. It just depends on what you want to do. So once we're done with that, we'll go ahead and get the board, the piece of wood or whatever you're going to cover, and I'm going to take some matte Mod Podge, and what I'll do is I'll do it section by section. If you're going for the wrinkle-free look, this is probably more of what you want to do. Little bit by little bit, basically. I will take just my decoupage roller brayer thing and a little bit of saran wrap, and I will add section by section the Mod Podge down, add the tissue paper down, and you're going to basically kind of divide your projects up. This one I did, I believe, more in thirds. And again, it's you kind of work with what you have. This was my first time trying to use the saran wrap, the plastic wrap, to do this. I have mixed emotions about it. And it's funny, after all this work, I do end up with like a little tear, and I was so mad that I got that tiny little hole in it. You probably won't even be able to see it, but I see it. I know it's there. So like I said, section by section, and I guess the idea with the saran wrap is that it's not your fingers pulling on it. It's supposed to have a little bit more of a, yep, see, there's the hole. There it is. I was trying to fix it. It didn't fix it. It's all right. It happens, right? I'm going to perfect this whole wrinkle-free method at some point. And so on the other stand, I am going to use these rub-on transfers that I have from Prima Redesign. I'm just going to kind of find whichever ones work the best for me. I'm going to have you sit through watching my thought process, apparently. And they're pretty easy. These ones do come in 3 separate little sheets like this. They have a lot of different ones that come in big sheets and whatnot. You can just trim them up, cut wherever looks the most logical. Now, obviously, with this whole, wreath looking thing, I could have just slapped it all on there and been done with it. But instead, what I will do is I will take piece by piece, and then I'm going to take this little wood stick, is basically what it is, and I will rub the transfer on, and it's got this little clear carrier paper, and then you pull it back a little bit, just check to make sure that nothing is coming off on that clear part, and you're good to go. Essentially, that is how it works. I'll do piece by piece. I kind of felt like I'd get a little bit better of an overall shape if I did piece by piece as opposed to trying to do it in like one larger piece. It really depends on the rub-on transfer. I got these off of an Etsy shop. You can get them in a lot of different places. You can check actually the Prima website to see if you have a person who carries them local to you, or if you can find them online. There's a pretty popular, I guess it's popular, I don't really know, but a pretty big Etsy shop that I found them on that also had free shipping, and I don't know about you guys, but I hate paying for shipping. I really do. So then I'm taking like little bits and pieces of some of them. I kind of was, trying to work with it as best I could. And apparently I'm going to have you sit and watch me do these rub-on transfers for a good amount of time. Like I said, these are kind of the leftovers, and that's the thing when you're like editing a video and it's been a while since you've made the project, you kind of forget how long it took you to do certain parts. Now this baby is an oldie but a goodie. This one is from a while ago. So I have just a very standard embroidery hoop. I'm going to loosen it up and take apart the hoop. I'm going to use this part instead of the part with the screw down part. Lots of parts involved in this, obviously. And I am taking these really large wood beads. I believe these came from Beebeecrafts. I wanted a larger one just so it would be a little bit easier, and I will just add the glue down to the flat part of the embroidery hoop and start placing down my beads. It's really up to you how you do this. If you have the half beads, they would work pretty much along the same lines. It'll give you a little bit of a different look, but kind of the overall same idea. I was trying really hard to get them close enough so you couldn't see the holes. You know, obviously these are beads that you can string through as well. I was trying to get it to where you couldn't really see the holes, so I'm going to do that section by section, just a little bit of hot glue down at a time. If you want a little more time to work with arranging the beads, go for the wood glue. Obviously the wood glue is going to give you a stronger hold, but hot glue works well enough, in my opinion, for something like this. If you were doing like something on a metal surface, I would certainly recommend a different glue. Hot glue with metal, they're just not friends. Once I've gotten all of my beads down, we will go ahead and add some hot glue kind of like onto the underside. This is going to add a little bit more security and keeping the beads from falling off. That's just not really a cute look if you have it sitting somewhere and then all of a sudden all of your beads fall off. Nobody wants that to happen. Anyways, we're just going to do that. I'm doing that with more of like a fine tip one as opposed to one with like too much glue. You don't want to get a ton of glue in between all these beads because you'll be able to see it. After that, we are going to take some of the white Adirondack paint from Folk Art, and I was trying to go in with more of a dry brush, but you really can't. It's weird. You really can't see it as a dry brush, so you have to go in and kind of saturate the whole thing. And you can definitely get away with not painting them because they are such a light wood. I wanted to do that I just wanted to give it the white though. Now I have the color Mineral from Waverly going in with more of a dry brush, a little heavier to it, trying to give it a little bit more dimension, a little bit more of that rustic feel to farmhouse, that we all know and love. And I will go around and do that to all of the beads, and then I will come in and try to do another coat of a different color that you'll see in just a minute. This is a very long project apparently today. Like I said, these are my leftover projects from the year, so this is sometimes what happens, right? When you have older projects, you forget how long it took you to do on, the project. Once I am done dry brushing the color Mineral, I'm going to go in with something a little bit darker or a second coat. I don't even know. I can't even recall. Like I said, this one's been a little while. Oh, you know what it was? I thought it was a little too stark. I thought it was a little bit too stark of a difference, so I'm actually going in right now with that first paint, the white, trying to give it a little bit more of a blended effect. If you ever feel like you overdo the distressing, you can always go back with the original color. And here's how it turned out. I've added some of the florals, and apparently I don't have that film anymore. Like I said, it's been around for a little while. So here is a Chalk Couture project that I did. I kind of did it on a whim one night. I recorded it just in case I wanted to use it. And this is a retired transfer. I got it during one of the Black Friday sales. They had a Black Friday sale pretty much every week of the month of November. Right now I am taking the color Shimmer Frost and I'm putting it obviously all over the tree right now. I did the word Christmas. I'm doing the whole tree. I love the Shimmer Spruce. Did I say Shimmer Frost? I'm sorry. Shimmer Spruce. It is this gorgeous emerald green. If you are a fan of green, let me just say, this is the most amazing color of green. If you haven't tried Chalk Couture, I am a Chalk Couture designer. I would love to help you put together a little project if you would like. Just reach over to me on my email or through Instagram, and I'm more than happy to walk you through the whole process of putting together certain things. And then after that, I wanted to give a more muted tone. This is the color Dune. This is not a shimmer. This one is more of a vanilla kind of look, a little bit more of, it's definitely not an off-white. This is more of a yellow tone. This is a really fun color. I like this one. It's understated, but on like this black chalkboard, you're gonna really see it. So I am going in to pretty much all of the other details on this board. If you wanted to make this more Christmassy, I know Christmas is over right now. You could definitely do this in a shimmer crimson, which is a sparkly red. When I say shimmer, it does have a little bit of glitter in there, and it just gives it just the most beautiful little like shimmer to it. Obviously that's the name of it, but you know what I mean. I wanted to do the dune because it kind of matches the frame a little bit, and you're going to see here in just a second how gorgeous this looks. It took about 5 minutes from the time that I put down the transfer to when I started chalking to being done. So here's the peel. I definitely should have fuzzed it a little bit more. Fuzzing is when you're just going to take off some of the stickiness. I should have done a little bit more because it was definitely sticking, but it turned out so gorgeous. This might have to hang up in my craft room for the entire year because I just love it. So I'm just pulling it off, peeling back, and you want to do it slow so that you don't stretch out your transfer, you don't ruin your project. As long as you're not doing tons and tons of detail on the coloring, you'll be fine. So here onto this project, these are from the Dollar Tree. They're just little plastic, I guess they're supposed to be wine glasses. I first did them in a ink paint from Waverly, didn't like it, and now I've covered them in the plaster from Waverly paint color. And now I'm going to take some antique wax from Folk Art. I add a little bit of white wax to tone down the color. You really could skip that. I don't think you need to do it. And I'm just going to basically coat the entire thing, one full coat with the antique wax. What I'm trying to do here is add kind of a faux wood look. Obviously, it's plastic and it's wax. It's not going to look exactly like wood, but we're going to go ahead and give our best shot. When we're doing that, I tried to give it this like little grain look with that little tool. It wasn't really working for me, but that's okay. I'm going to kind of go in a really streaky motion. Like, you don't want it to be consistent through the whole thing. You want it to look like you have spots that are darker, spots that are lighter. That is what's going to give you that more wood look. I just thought that this was kind of a cool project. It didn't fit with the video that I was doing. That's kind of what all of these little leftovers are just all kinds of projects that I did over the course of the year that just didn't fit well with the video I did, or for whatever reason, it didn't end up getting published. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun just to throw them all together in, I wanted to call it like a holiday leftover, but then I was like, well, I have a few things that aren't really holiday related. Most of them kind of are because they've been more recent for the most part. But if you guys are liking this content, if you think this is kind of a fun idea, let me know down in the comments. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe and check out all the great things that I have coming up in the next couple of months. Lots of fun videos planned for you, and I can't wait to show you. I have my craft room tour coming up next week. Once you've gotten your kind of like your base wood look, we'll call it that, right? A wood look. Then you can either clear it or just let it dry, and it'll be pretty much good to go. That is the version of it that I did with black, and I did actually a white wax on top of it. I liked it, but like I said, it just didn't work well with what I had done on that video. So here's how they turned out. Very woodsy, very winter wonderland almost. So I have just a wood, well, it's like a faux wood. It's like an MDF board kind of thing from, I believe, the Target Dollar Spot. One side is chalkboard, one side is a more like whitewashed wood. You can still see the grains in there. And what I have added is a little bit of the surface wax from Chocator, and now I'm taking a sponge and kind of really buffing it in, heating it up, buffing it in. It's a whole process. This board, you can definitely feel it. Like if you feel your wood and it feels like there is a texture to it, you don't want to chalk right on that because it's going to settle in to that texture. Now I have this transfer, which is obviously very Christmassy in nature because it is "Oh Come Let Us Adore Him," and obviously it is about Jesus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fuzz the transfer probably 4 to 5 times because this is brand new. I've never used it before. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. What's really cool about Chocator transfers is especially the difference between them and like if you do Cricut vinyl is you can pick it up and move it without ruining your whole design and not having to like recut the whole thing. Like I said, I've been really in love with this shimmer spruce, like I mentioned, and now this is kind of like a mixture of shimmer spruce with some, I can't remember if it was black velvet or the velvet shimmer. Basically, it's either black or it is a shimmer black, basically. So I'm taking this more of like the green color and I'm doing that on the bottom part of my transfer. Initially, my thought process was that I was going to do more of an ombre effect. However, I didn't execute it the way I should have, but that's all right. It still turns out pretty cool. I should have added quite a bit more of like the middle part. See how I'm scraping stuff off right now? That's mostly because I started to run out. But where I end up trying to do it in the middle, I should have had quite a bit more. So now I'm adding the black to kind of go in towards the top. In my concept, at least, was to do the black on the top and the more of the green on the bottom and have the middle part be a mixture. I should have taken my shimmer spruce in the middle and added more and then did the, you know, the whole mushing of the colors, which is what I'm trying to do right now. See, I'm scraping the barrel here, guys. It's all right. It does end up looking pretty cute at the end. So once I've decided we're done and I've scraped off my excess, I will do the peel and you will see, like I said, it still ends up pretty cute with a little bit of the green at the bottom. And here's how it turned out. Still nice. Still love it. And it probably won't be up in the craft room all year long, but you never know. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's little leftover video. Give me a big thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you next time.